Our criteria.
In type voices, it should be.
It says appropriate voice level.
That is on the sheet.
We're readier.
We're ready to file a complaint if Dr. Moxley's team wins. Just saying.
Alright, we're going to let the con team.
Who's judging over here?
Both of us.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so con team, you guys going to start off this round?
All right, we're arguing the position that, that technology does not help learning. And, you know, we all love technology. It brings Stargate Universe into our lives. It has a lot of benefits, but there are some significant problems with technology. One measure of learning is the SAT. We've seen decline since 1962, very alarming, very alarming. For the last 40 years, we've seen declines almost every year. In 1962, 19,000 kids scored above 700 on the verbal. More recently, it was 11,600. It's a travesty. As much as we love technology, let's look at the NEA. Back in 1982, 56% of Americans read books. Oh my God, this is really awful. I mean, it's you know, for those of you who care about print culture, it's very rare to read books now. It's down to about 44%. So that's a significant decrease. You know, they asked Harvard students, what causes the seasons? They didn't know. Why? Well, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on email, and it's disrupting many different things. And one of the most significant things is technology is causing significant problems with teenage depression and suicide and substance abuse. It's as much as we like watching Stargate Universe, this is a serious problem. 60% of students say they are so addicted to Facebook and their phones that they check it 30 times a day. This is you know, only 14 hours are spent learning every day, every week by American kids. Why? Because they're reading their Facebook and they're seeing how great lives are for everybody else. And this is undermining the health of our youth and prospects of our country.
All right. Also, I'd like to point out that because of institutional lag time, students are off. Let me start off by saying there's no doubt that technology is changing learning habits. I just disagree that it's a positive change.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's cheating. It's not my thing.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's not the judge.
We're giving slightly more time because the teams are large.
See, you're not the judge.
It's a problem because she likes technology.
It's all about the technology.
What I'm arguing here is because of institutional lag time, students are often learning inappropriate, even bad habits through their unguided and unmediated hyper-techware environmental experiences. They're learning bad grammar through their texting. They're using shallow reading habits and attention qualities lower and lower, because the tech environment is simply too dizzying for students to learn in a productive and positive way by itself.
Okay. Person?
Well, since we've changed the rules, I'd just like to know how long we have.
You'll find out.
Dr. Jacob.
Okay, well, we're on a position of arguing that new technology is making a positive impact on education. And we're going to focus this really on three different issues, or 3.5 issues. We're going to focus on the shallows and access, this notion that perhaps this is creating dumber students, which Dr. Moxley addressed very creatively. Also the notion of education and fear. And so to start with this notion of shallows and access, and I guess this is a partial rebuttal to the access, or to the argument Dr. Moxley made. This sounds an awful lot like a faulty cause fallacy to me, just to say that X happens, therefore it creates Y. The truth of the matter is, that's not an argument that can be made. And it's compelling. And this notion that, you know, I think that what this gets to is an issue of education, which we'll address momentarily. And also another issue that's been brought up multiple times here is one of access. And I think that a logical, as opposed to perhaps a fallacious argument on this, would be that in order to create, or to remedy the problems that we have with access, we actually need more technology in the classroom, that we can lessen the divide, perhaps, by actually producing spaces where this does afford our students an opportunity to engage.
And several schools in our local school districts have addressed that by giving iPads to all the students in that particular school, or Kindle readers to all the students in the school, so that everyone has equal access through the same types of technology. Part of the benefits to this is to address your idea that their writing has somehow become worse, is that it actually makes more writing public, and that through shared writing, students are able to see other people's writing, they can participate in peer editing and writing, and the students are actually writing for more authentic audiences than for just writing a paper to have comments back on it.
Okay, rebuttal?
Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my question would be in terms of access. If you're going to talk about technology has made positive changes, then for who has it made positive changes? There are two issues with that, I think, in terms of access and usage, which can be based on disabilities, cultural values, economic, and especially in a lot of schools, even the teachers haven't been prepared. In a lot of lower income schools, the teachers aren't familiar with some of the technologies. So I think it's important to kind of broaden that discussion if it's been a positive change, then for who. Okay. I would also say if digital literacy is valued now, then we can't assume that all students are already literate with these technologies and these tools we're asking them to use. And so I think maybe in USF, where I think a lot of the students come from generally, it seems that a lot of my students at least have access, but maybe they're not familiar with the tools that I'm asking them to engage with.
I'm going to add that American colleges use the SAT by the College Board to determine acceptance to the universities, and the decline is over a 4-decade period. And NEA and the NEH have also found a decline in reading, which to me is fundamental to learning. And you mentioned public writing. Well, we all know the problem with pedophiles. I mean, everybody thinks the internet is just about sex. You're opening up the predators.
In support of my colleague's argument about access, I would like to ask Betty to cite her sources on which of these schools are actually giving every student an iPod or an iPad. I don't know where that's happening, but it's certainly not happening in struggling areas. That's not happening in downtown Ybor, I don't believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay, pro sides, go ahead.
Okay, so a couple of things that I would like to rebut. First of all, I think that you're absolutely right. We do need to focus on digital literacy for both the teachers and the students, and we do need to integrate more access. And I think that if we did, we would also see that organizations like the Princeton Review, who help students study for the SATs, have radically successful programs. But those programs are digital learning programs. So maybe it's not that our students are stupider, it's that our teachers are not prepared to teach in a way that students want and need to learn. So maybe it's an issue of learning styles, not that we're getting dumber. And actually there are statistics that show that we are reading more, not less, thanks to digital technology like the Kindle. But I do not have a source to quote from at the moment. However, I can get one. And I think that Jay Leno also does that whole, like, you know, idiot in the street. And the people who were from Dr. Moxley's peer group of his generation, his age, also look as dumb as those from mine when asked these random questions. So I think that that is an invalid argument. I think what's undergirding all of this is fear. When you're talking about pedophiles, yes, there are pedophiles in the big bad world, but we need to be teaching students through digital literacy how to log on to Facebook and change their privacy controls. And that will help students understand that public writing and being public in a certain way comes with consequences. And that's really important. We also need to be educating our instructors to do the same thing. And finally, I wanted to say that not allowing us to educate. I mean, the digital revolution is here. There's no avoiding it. And we have had these naysayers for thousands of years, Photocrates being one of them, who said that writing would destroy memory, we wouldn't be able to understand argument, theater was going to destroy the world, and that didn't happen. And I think we can make the same case for digital technology. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be the end of education. In fact, it's only going to enhance our position and our ability to